Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the next session. In the previous session, we dealt with Taylor's scientific management, and F.W. Taylor was known as father of scientific management. In today's session, we will be proceeding with Fayol's principles of management. Henry Fayol was a French management theorist and he was a mining engineer. The 19-year-old engineer started working at a mining company and later he was acting as its managing director from 1888 to 1918. That is, for almost 30 years he was acting as its managing director. Fayol was the one who identified four functions of management. We have studied functions of management in brief in first chapter. That is planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. And Fayol was the one who identified four functions of management: planning, organizing, directing and controlling. But he used different terms like plan, organize, command, coordinate, and control. Fayol said that all the activities of an industrial undertaking could be divided into technical activities, commercial activities, financial activities, security, accounting, and managerial activities. It means he was the person who identified that the activities of the organization can be divided. Fayol also suggested that a person to be called as a manager, he must possess certain qualities in him. Which are those qualities? Physical quality, moral, knowledge, and experience. We know that Fayol was working in a mining company for almost 30 years. He worked as a managing director and largely based on his own experience, he developed the concept of administration. The 14 principles of management were propounded by Henry Fayol. These principles were discussed in his book that was published in 1917. In English, it is termed as General and Industrial Management, which was published in the year 1949 and is widely considered as foundational work in classical management theory because of his contribution towards management. He is termed as father of general management. Now, let us study which are the 14 principles of management that has been propounded by Henry Fayol. First, division of work. According to Fayol, the work of the organization can be divided into small tasks and a trained personnel specialist who is competent enough need to perform that particular job. When a person who is competent, who is capable of performing that respective job, better result can be gained with less effort. This division of work leads to specialization. The intent of division of work is to produce more and better work for the same effort. How? How by the same effort more work can be generated? Because the one who is specialized in that particular area, he will be taking care of that respective activities. Suppose person A is specialized in finance, then he will be taking care of financial activity. Person B is specialized in marketing, then he will be taking care of marketing activities. Thus, specialization is the most efficient way to use human effort. In business, work can be performed more efficiently when it is divided into smaller jobs, and each job must be performed by trained employee or by specialist. In this way, the efficiency and effectiveness of the output will be increased. Because of this reason, in a company, we can find separate departments for finance, marketing, production, human resource development, etc. All of these departments will be having specialized persons, and to specialized person in that respective area in the management institutions, you can find specialization courses, specialization in finance, human resource, marketing as well. Collectively, they achieve production and sales target of the company when the activities are performed by the trained employees or specialist. Fayol says that the principle of division of work is applicable to all kind of work, let it be technical work or managerial work. Division of work is applicable, and the principle of division of work is applicable to any organization, let it be hospital or a government office, let it be enterprise in public sector, private sector, political organization, cultural or a social organization. Wherever work is involved, you can apply the principle of division of work. Next, authority and responsibility. What does authority refers to? Authority is right of an individual to give order. What is responsibility? Responsibility is the obligation of the individual to perform the task as per the instruction. Authority can be official authority or personal authority. It can be formal and informal as well. And the important thing with relate to authority and responsibility is there must be a balance between authority and responsibility. Let me take an example. Suppose a sales manager has been given a responsibility to crack a deal with a customer. And to finalize this deal with the customer is demanding 60 days credit period. But the company has given him authority to give credit period of only 50 days. It means, is there a balance between authority and responsibility? No, there is no balance between authority and responsibility. In this case, he will not be able to perform his responsibility of clenching the order with that customer because of lack of authority. Assume that there is need of 60 days credit period to be allowed, whereas the management is allowing to give 100 days credit period. Is it required? Again, even in this case, there is no balance of authority and responsibility. Thus, in an organization, the manager or the individuals in an organization should be given with sufficient authority to perform their responsibilities. There should be a balance between authority and responsibility. Third principle is discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is obedience to organizational rules and employment agreement which are necessary for performing the activities of the organization. Fayol says that discipline requires good superiors at all levels. There should be clear and fair agreements. There should be judicious application of the penalties as well as and when required. Let me take one example. Assume that management and workers have entered into an agreement. where the workers are supposed to work for few extra hours every day until the project is being completed, and at this point of time they will be not receiving any extra wages for the extra work that they have rendered. Instead, the management has promised that after the accomplishment of that project, the wages of the workers will be increased. In such case, what is the discipline? The discipline is both the parties, that is management and worker, must adhere to the agreement. The worker must deliver extra hours of work. The management, after the completion of project, they need to increase the wages of the worker. Thus, obedience to organizational rules and employment agreement is known as discipline. Next, unity of command. According to Fayol, there should be one and only one boss for every individual employee. An employee must receive instructions from one superior only at one time. If an employee gets order from more than one superior at a time, then the principle of unity of command is violated. What happens under such circumstances? Under such circumstances, the employee will be confused. Which activity need to be performed? What is the correct manner of accomplishing the task? This leads to a dilemma and non-accomplishment of the work. Thus, the principle of unity of command states that each participant in the formal organization, that is, every employee, should receive order from one superior only and be responsible to one superior only. If there is violation of unity of command, then the stability of the organization will be threatened. Dual subordination should be avoided in order to prevent the confusion with regard to performance of the task by the employee. For example, assume that a sales manager has been given permission to give 10% discount by the marketing department, whereas the finance department is stating not more than 5% discount should be allowed to the customer. In this case, the sales manager will be in dilemma. Why? Because two different instructions has been received from two different departments. This shows the violation of unity of command, which leads to confusion and non-accomplishment of the task. Hence, unity of command must be adhered to in any organization. Next, unity of direction. We know that in an organization there will be various departments. All the departments will be performing their departmental activities. All the units of an organization should be moving towards the same objective, that is accomplishment of organizational objective, is what the unity of direction says. Each group of activity having the same objective must have one head and one plan. For example, assume that there is a manufacturing company. It manufactures motorcycle as well as car. It means there are two divisions in this manufacturing company. Both the divisions will be having their own divisional objectives. They will be having their own plans and policies for their respective divisions. All the employees in that division will be performing activities to accomplish that divisional objective. Now, what does unity of direction says? Unity of direction says that even though the divisions are working towards accomplishment of divisional objectives, they need to see to it that all the divisions in the organization are collectively working towards not just achievement of divisional objectives or departmental objectives, but they are collectively working towards accomplishment of organizational objectives as well. Next, subordination of individual interest to general interest. What does this says? Every worker has some individual interest for working in a company, and company has its own objective. Few employees join the organization with the intention of safety and security. Other employee may join the organization with the intention of getting higher salary. And what is the objective of the company? The objective of the company is to get maximum work done from the employees at minimum cost. There is a conflict of interest between individual objective and organizational objective. This principle says that interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee. In all the situation, the interest of the company will supersede the interest of any one individual, because the larger interest of the workers and stakeholders are more important than the interest of any one person. For example, interest of various stakeholders, that is owners, shareholders, creditors, debtors, bankers, customers, society, are at large, and their interest, these stakeholders' interest, cannot be sacrificed for satisfying the interest of one individual or a small group of individual who want to exert pressure on the company. Under such circumstances, it is the responsibility of manager to ensure that he convince that one individual or group of individual through his explanatory behavior. Always the interest of an organization should take priority over the interest of any one individual employee. Next, remuneration of employees. The overall pay and compensation should be fair to both employees and organization. The employees must get fair wages so that at least a reasonable standard of living they can afford. At the same time, the salary that has been given by the company or the wages that has been fixed by the company should be within the paying capacity. Hence, the remuneration should be fair and equitable for both the parties, that is to the employee and the company. If the remuneration will be fair and equitable, that is just and equitable, then there will be cooperation between workers and management, which will ensure smooth functioning of the organization.